The Bears have to make a change as soon as possible in regards to leadership of Matt Eberflus, Shane Waldron, and offensive line coach Chris Morgan, as they are leading this Bears team into the ground. Unable to score a touchdown against one of the worst defenses in football, allowing 6 sacks to one of the worst pass rushes in football as well, and down by 20 with less than 2 minutes left in the game, keeping your rookie quarterback Caleb Williams out there, which he then got hurt. This is not a $6.5 billion franchise, and we can never get coaching right, and there needs to be a huge change. Hello, everyone, and welcome back to this episode of Just Another Year Chicago Bears. My name is Nick Brody, and as always, thank you for tuning in. I'm going to break down why these 3 guys need to be fired as soon as possible. And if they have been fired after this video has been released, well, now I'm going to explain why that happened. And before I get more into today's show, hit the like button on this video if you want the top coaches of the Bears to be fired as soon as possible. Allow me commenting below out of the 3 who you want fired first. And do you want free Bears news and content? Make sure to hit that subscribe button. Help us hit 20,000 subscribers before week 11 against the Packers. So let's just jump into it. Matt Eberflus has to go. This guy is not a head coach in the NFL. He's a defensive coordinator because some guys are just meant to be coordinators in this league. And the last 2 games alone speak for that. Flus only scoring 24 points in the last 2 games against some of the worst defenses in the league. No touchdowns against the Arizona Cardinals, by the way, just 3 field goals in the second quarter, allowing 47 points in the last 2 games as well, 29 of them coming against the Cardinals. This defense has given up on Eberflus, by the way, and I'll get into that, but there is no motivation from these guys on the field. No one talks to Eberflus. No one goes up to him. Flus doesn't seem excited. He's not high-fiving people. He's lost the locker room, and that is why a firing needs to happen immediately before we lose this very young and talented roster. Players have sent a message, by the way, to the coaching staff because apparently Wednesday when Tyreek Stevenson was told that he was not going to be starting against the Arizona Cardinals, he left practice himself. Whether that happened and it was true to the meaning or he just left as a whole, it caused rift in the locker room, and players are mad at Matt Eberflus. They weren't mad at Stevenson. They were mad at their head coach. You could see that the guys were unmotivated by this. Absolutely unacceptable. They're just on the field, not giving 100% effort. And when your defense is out there as long as the Bears is, there is going to be problems. And when the other team is celebrating, they look good, they like each other, that's a big issue. This Bears team was 4-2 a couple weeks ago, and everyone was on the same page. But after Flus not taking accountability for the mistakes he made, blaming the players publicly, and then humiliating them in practice too, just not a good look. And yes, Flus was missing Montez Sweat, Kyler Gordon, Jaquan Brisker, and then lost Andrew Billings in the middle of the game. You have to make sure your second-string guys are ready, especially when you're the head coach. But Flus isn't a head coach. He's a defensive coordinator, and his record as the Bears head coach speaks for itself. 14-28 in 42 games as the Bears head coach, along with a 3-18 record. Yes, a 3-18 record on the road. This guy can't win on the road. You always bet against the Bears when they're on the road. And yes, 11-10 at home and a 9-game home winning streak. But this is still completely unacceptable. Flus's offensive rankings, though, because he's hiring his offensive coordinators, are pathetic as well because this team just can't score points. In 2022, they were the 28th ranked offense. In 23, a little bit better at 25th. But right now, they are ranked 29th after their performance against the Arizona Cardinals. And yes, his defenses are always top 10. I don't need to get into that because we know how good this Bears defense is. But here's a terrible fact about how this defense can't be clutch under Flus is that he has given up 24 games in the fourth quarter in his career as an NFL head coach, or an NFL coach, not just a head coach. Yes, 24 losses in his career given up in the fourth quarter as defensive coordinator or head coach. Flus takes zero accountability for his mistakes as well. He blames his players. That's not a good feeling, especially I would not want my CEO blaming me for bad performance. He never admits to his mistakes. He always says that he did the right thing in the moment. He's a young head coach. He's going to make mistakes. I don't care if you're best friends with Nick Saban. You are not a good head coach, my friend. Nick Saban, on the other hand, would love him to be the Bears head coach potentially. But Flat out, this team has given up on Eberflus. And the cherry on top for me that made me want to absolutely just run onto the field in Arizona, we'll teleport there because I wasn't there, obviously, but was keeping Caleb Williams out there with less than 2 minutes left, getting sacked twice, and then getting hurt on top of it. I love that Caleb Williams wanted to be out there. He was trying to make plays, trying to make the score look a little bit more respectful, but you don't risk losing your quarterback for the season. And Flus can't even evaluate coaching talent either. Him and Waldron, Caleb Williams and Shane Waldron, they don't like each other. And this is Flus's second offensive coordinator, and we have seen no progression. Absolutely unacceptable. He needs to go. Kevin Warren, I hope, was fuming in Phoenix, Arizona, going up to Ryan Poles saying, we need to make a change immediately. And the sad part is that our ownership won't do anything either. But I don't get why the McCaskies love hiring these coaches. I don't get it. And now I'm starting to blame Poles a little bit because he talks so highly of Matt Eberflus. But Flus has to go. Poles is not on my hot radar yet, by the way, because of the fact of how he's put together a great team. Great coaches make great teams better. But this team needs to lead by players at this point because Flus cannot do a good job. I don't trust him anymore. And I pray that he is the first Bears head coach ever fired in the middle of a season. Followed by that, Shane Waldron also needs to follow Flus and pack his bags up at the exact same time. Waldron, 24 points in the last 2 games against sub-25 ranked defenses in the NFL. He scored against bad teams in the Carolina Panthers, Jacksonville Jaguars, and honestly was impressed by the LA Rams. We didn't score much there, but he got the offense somewhat moving. But at the end, the Bears are the bottom offense in nearly every single category, minus those 2 35-point games that came back-to-back. This offense hasn't done anything this season. On top of it, too, Waldron doesn't even talk to his rookie quarterback. They're awkwardly sitting on the sideline together, looking at the iPads, looking like 2 kids at dinner, trying to just be distracted so the parents can enjoy it. It's just absolutely ridiculous, the relationship that your offensive coordinator has with a quarterback that is generational. And we've seen the flashes of Caleb Williams in the NFL. If he had Cliff Kingsbury, if he had Kubiak, if he had anybody else, he'd be in a much better position. He can't get this offense moving. He can't get them scoring. And he has one of the best offensive rosters on paper in the NFL. Drives me crazy too. 0 targets in Arizona for Cole Kmet and only 2 targets against the Washington Commanders. Something's going on between those two. Squash the beef. Don't try to prove anybody wrong. Don't give the ball to Gerald Everett. Give it to your $50 million tight end in Cole Kmet, who is recognized as one of the league's best now. And you're not using him? Absolutely ridiculous. The Bears had a shot at Kubiak. They had a shot at Kingsbury, and they went with Waldron. That's on Flus not evaluating coaching talent. And they interviewed all these guys in 2 rounds, and they thought Shane was the best. I don't know what Shane said, but it was a bunch of used carsman baloney. Waldron also got lucky with Geno Smith. That's the only thing that's saving his NFL career as an offensive coordinator. But before Geno Smith, nothing. He was an assistant to Kirk Cousins in Washington, and then when Cousins was playing in Washington, and then in LA for a year with Sean McVay. But it's embarrassing that he can't do anything as an offensive coordinator, especially against the Arizona Cardinals. Look at the stats right here. 241 total yards of offense against a bad defense. 172 passing yards, 69 rushing, 16 first downs. Here's where things get ugly. 3 for 14 on 3rd down. Ridiculous. 2 for 4 on 4th down. Shouldn't have been in 4 4th down situations, my friend. 6 sacks allowed, 4 punts. Shout out to Torrey Taylor, though. 3 of his 4 punts being inside the 10, and 1 of them being a 70-yard boom into the to help put Arizona deep into their zone. Arizona ended up scoring anyway. But guys, against the 26th ranked defense in the NFL, he should have torched these guys. Didn't do anything. This was a statement game for Shane Waldron, and he just put a nail in the coffin why he should be fired as the Bears offensive coordinator. Now, before I get more into Chris Morgan, I would like to thank today's sponsor, Cornbread, which offers the first USDA organic hemp gummies in the USA. Highest quality full spectrum gummies on the market. USDA certified organic, made flour only, 3rd-party lab tested, vegan, dairy, and gluten-free, and no artificial flavors or preservatives. Proudly grown in the USA. You're supporting a USA-owned startup. Cornbread's CBD gummies and hemp gummies make it safe and effective for daily use. And they're offering free shipping and 30% off your first order using code JAYCHI Bears. Link in the description now. You guys are going to need it, especially after this loss. Must be 21 or older to order. And finally, Chris Morgan. I'm over this guy. 6 sacks against the Arizona Cardinals' worst pass rush defense in the NFL is absolutely ridiculous. He made Larry Borom practically retire after this game because Borom had no idea what he was doing out there. I blame Larry and Chris Morgan for that. But this guy is ridiculous. When your offensive line is constantly standing around your quarterback and your quarterback isn't accepting a hand up from your offensive lineman anymore when on the ground, I don't blame Caleb Williams' frustration. He looks frustrated all the time out there because he has no time to help his wide receivers get open. Chris Morgan is an absolute joke. 3 years in a row of the worst offensive line in the NFL. He should never coach in this league again, and I'm absolutely over him. Can him, get him out of there, get him packed. Go to your summer house. I don't care. But Chris Morgan needs to be fired as well. The only good thing going for Bears fans right now, guys, is that the Green Bay Packers lost. And a win by the Bears would have been absolutely massive for them because they could have beat the Patriots. Packers are on a bye, and both could have walked into the next game at 6-3. Best the Bears can do now is 5-4 and hopefully get the Packers at the same record as them at Soldier Field. But Packers losing against the Detroit Lions, they looked like the Bears against the Lions. So feeling a little bit confident in that regard. But what a terrible game for the Bears. They need to clear house. They need to clean things up quickly. And I want to hear your guys' thoughts in the comments section below. But with that, please hit the like button on this video. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't already to stay up to date on all Chicago Bears news and content. And please, please comment your thoughts in the comment section below. But with that, thank you as always for today's episode of Just Another Year Chicago Bears. My name is Nick Brody, and as always, bear down, baby.